My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content.
All right, guys, welcome to Property Profits Podcast. I'm your host, Bryce Kaminsky, filling in for Dave DeBow. And if you've ever wondered, I'm in a sales job. I want to transition into real estate. Is it going to work for me? Chances are that those skills are going to be very transferable. My guest today, Brent Kakwitch, is going to kind of dive a little bit into his success and what he attributes to years of the people business. Brent, welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
I appreciate you having me, Bryce. I'm super excited. Can't wait to dive into it and, hopefully reach some folks and get them out of that W-2 life and off into their real estate investing journey.
Yeah, well, it's got to start somewhere. Now, what market or where are you zooming in from today?
Yeah, so I'm zooming in from Nashville, Tennessee. I've lived here since 2015. So I think by Nashville standards, I'm a local. I think it's typically that 5-year
like
mark.
5 years, coming up on a decade. So
yeah,
tell me a bit about the backstory. What got you into real estate investment in the first place?
Yeah, so grew up in Wisconsin, and played collegiate baseball, football, hockey, baseball growing up. That kind of naturally just transferred into kind of a sales role. So basically moved down to Mississippi, worked for a tech sales company, and then moved up to Nashville for that same company. Then moved over to medical device sales. And when I was in medical device sales, it was actually a rep of mine that was underneath me. He had introduced me to the Bigger Pockets podcast. We were kind of out grabbing lunch one day, asked me if I've ever, thought about real estate. And I've always had kind of that in the back of my mind. We grew up always renting. I had a single mom. 2 brothers and a sister, always rented, like I said, and just kind of thought to myself in the back of my mind, like at one point, I want to be the guy that folks are renting from. So started diving into Bigger Pockets, listened to it just relentlessly, and came across Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that pretty much just is almost like every other investor that gets into it, kind of changed my life, and bought a house about 30 days later. That is now my first rental. And from there, I've kind of pivoted, transitioned into a few different things. Now we got our hands in, multiple businesses, but it's been a fantastic journey. But that's really kind of what got my start, was a friend of mine actually introducing me to the Bigger Pockets podcast.
Nice. So what do you like most about real estate investing?
I think it's just the dynamic. It's just always changing. There's so many strategies and so many ways to make money in real estate. And it's really allows you to kind of tailor your investing strategy to what fits your avatar the most. For me, I have a heavy sales background, so acquisitions is something that I just love on the wholesale side of things, as well as acquiring deals for us to take down ourselves. So I think it's just the flexibility of being able to kind of really become your true self and dive into something that really kind of fits your niche.
Yeah, my favorite, with what you're saying is it's kind of interesting how real estate investing, it doesn't really have much of a ceiling. It really is effort dependent.
Yeah.
So on the flip side of things, what maybe isn't so great about it?
I think there's just obviously at the end of the day, anytime you talk investing, I don't care what vehicle you're looking at, there's always going to be risk associated with that. I'm someone who has a higher risk tolerance at the end of the day, but I definitely, some of the downside, I mean, we've gotten into deals, that we've lost money on, some that were just not a great buy. So there's always risk associated with it. And again, I'm not super, long into my real estate investing journey. So I've kind of seen both sides of making money, breaking even, maybe losing a little bit of money. So I would say the downside is just the risk involved, because there are so many factors that go into a real estate transaction that can go wrong. You pull one lever the wrong way and it could completely flip your deal upside down. So just being super knowledgeable at the end of the day, action versus inaction. But you can have all the knowledge in the world but not take any action. At the same time, taking too much action right away can get you into a hot spot and not, or a hot seat, and, not be the
Yeah,
best way to
steady,
go. So,
steady as it goes. So have there
yep.
been any major challenges you've had to overcome in real estate so far?
Major challenges for me, really kind of we're in our third flip right now. Our first two were not great. Um, Inexperience, contractor issues, just the whole bit, that you always hear about, the nightmares and
Hmm.
flipping houses. But at the end of the day, we just knew that, if we did make a mistake, it wasn't going to sink us. And we kind of prepped ourselves for worst case scenario, and we were able to kind of, weather that storm. So, from a flipping standpoint, the first two didn't go as expected. The third one we're in, we're obviously constantly learning, constantly evolving, figuring out, looking back at the deal, what went wrong, how do we fix it on the next one. And then, I would say another, property that we purchased down in Tampa, Florida, looked at it as a second home, kind of Airbnb STR play. And just really didn't do enough due diligence on the front side. Now we actually flipped it to a long-term rental. It's kind of just breaking even at this point, but there's just some trials and tribulations when you're trying to build your real estate knowledge and portfolio. And at the end of the day, I mean, everybody's going to make mistakes, and it's really kind of looking at things like victim or victor, and just how
Hmm.
you can actually grow from those mistakes and turn those into, opportunities moving forward.
Yeah, you don't really learn. It's either learn or earn.
Yeah.
Those are the two options in flipping. So when it comes to
Yeah.
real estate investing, what do you think your secret sauce is? What comes easy to you that other people might find difficult to do?
Um, I'm a really big people person. I come from like I said earlier, I'm a heavy sales background. I was in tech sales, so I did business to business, door to door, essentially, copier, IT, software sales.
Mm.
Moved from that over into medical device sales, where I was actually in the operating room. I was in ICUs, stuff like that. And I've just had that knack for, building relationships with folks, and then just the constant hunt for, the next
The
deal,
next deal.
or the
Yeah.
next client. So I would say I'm very, very acquisitions, focused, I guess, on my side, or that's really my superpower. And then just connecting folks. I'm just a huge mindset of collaboration over competition. I think there's enough for everybody to go around. And even
Yeah.
if I try to connect two people that I am going to gain nothing from, I feel like down the road that's going to be reciprocated at some point. So I would say just connecting and acquisitions are really kind of my two secret sauces.
Nice, nice. So where do you want to go in the next 12 months?
The next 12 months, from that standpoint, so I guess a little backstory. Run a wholesale company. I have three folks underneath me on the team.
Hmm.
We have a flipping business, we have the development business, and then we have a property management company. So it's kind of three different goals for each business. But from in the next 12 months, it's really from the wholesale standpoint, is really solidify and systemize every single thing that we're doing. We've implemented a lot of KPI tracking, new CRMs to help automate that, really dialing in our sales process to make it a repeatable business, and
Hmm.
getting the right players in place. And then at the end of the day, we're actually looking to double our revenue from 2023 year over year. And we've already done almost over half of that in Q1. So sitting in a good seat there, but can't take the throttle off take the gas or pedal off the gas, whatever. From that standpoint, and then a flip, we'd love to. We're in our third flip right now. We'd love to take down about 2 to 3 more before the end of the year. And then on the
Hmm.
development side, we're about to break ground on a 7 build. Just closed on a 2 build. We're under contract for a 4 build, but we need to go through the rezone. So I'd really like to be under contract or breaking ground on anywhere between 6 to 10 plus developments by the end of the year.
So, with everything you've accomplished in real estate investing today, what would you say your biggest obstacle is now?
Biggest obstacle, I feel like we're pretty set up on the wholesale side, the PM
Hmm.
side, the property management company side. From the flipping and development, I would say probably our biggest obstacle is one, experience, and two, capital.
Yeah.
That's something that obviously you can only gain by getting into deals. We've been lucky enough to where, I've found really good folks to partner up with. to kind of maybe leverage their experience and get into some deals from that standpoint. And then capital, I mean, we've been lucky, I wouldn't say lucky, but we've been connected enough to be able to find the capital to get into the deals that we can. But we do have a lot of deals that are sitting on the sidelines just due to lack of capital. And some of that comes with, we have access to it, but they're just really want to see us perform prior to kind of just cutting that loose on us. So I'd say capital is probably one of the bigger obstacles that we have right now.
Yeah, so what are you doing to fund your flips? Because that's pretty capital intensive. It's usually an in and out kind of game,
Yep.
usually cash and some maybe a hard money loan. So what are you doing to fund your deals right now?
Yeah, so right now, until we kind of build up that capital stack to potentially take these properties down cash, really what we're doing is just levering the hard money side of things.
Hmm.
So we'll raise the capital for the down payment and the IO, and then basically just go get the hard money loan for the rest. Obviously, float any costs until we get our drawback, but and then we just offer our investors either a straight percentage return, depending on how small the project is, or we look at, if it's a larger project like this one that we're in now, we're actually offering our PML, our private money lender, a equity position in the project. Similar to the development side, we actually brought in a JV partner who had access to a lot of capital. So we actually just split that. That's the 7 build. We actually split that one 50-50. So we're kind of the operators of the deal, and they were responsible for bringing the capital partners in. And we split that one on a JV 50-50. And the 2 build that we closed on, we just actually provided our private money lender who gave us enough money to take down the land cash, an equity position in the project as well.
Yeah,
So,
the land is tricky too because the banks aren't super interested in land. So
yeah.
what's one of your strategies right now to access money to fund your next deal?
So really the strategy is just being loud about what we're doing. And just talking to people at any single, every single networking event that we go to. Just tell folks that, people can't help you if they don't know what you're looking for. And you never know who you're going to talk to, who might have access to family office money, private equities, whatever it may be. You just never know who you're talking to. So just being loud about what we're trying to do and letting them know, kind of this is what we're doing now. This is where we see ourselves in the future. So that's networking with friends, family, whatever it may be. And, just showing them the successes that we have had on our side of things to get them excited about partnering with us in these projects. And at the end of the day, you kind of leverage the fact that everybody in some way, shape, or form wants to say they're a real estate investor. So even if that's throwing capital at a project, we try to leverage that as well. So.
Awesome, awesome. So when you're talking about capital, a lot of times, especially in today's day and age, it's usually there's a social media component to kind of like what you're doing, what's going on. What are some ways you found to be most effective to keep in touch with investors and prospective investors?
Yeah, I'm going to be the first to admit it. I wanted to go down the heavy social media route. I did it for about 2 weeks, and that's just not my jam.
Yeah, it's
Not
definitely consistency, and it's a lot of noise too. I mean, there's definitely opportunity. So you're more of an old school networking, get on the phone, find people, meet people type guy.
Yep, definitely. I'm a face-to-face person, shaking hands, kissing babies, I guess, as they say. And yeah, that's really my method. And like I said, going back to really the connection side of things, I feel like I connect better with people in person than I
Yeah.
would over a social media post or, whatever it may be. And again, it's just the social media world. I know it's a necessary evil, and I see some people doing some incredible things on the social media side for raising capital. So are we leaving money on the table? Maybe. But again, I know what works for me and I know where I operate best. So I always try to leverage what I can do best, and use that to my advantage.
Awesome, awesome. So, um, are you a find the deal and then the money, or do you prefer to have your capital kind of lined up and then go looking for deals?
Really right now we're kind of a find the deal, then find the money, is really kind of where we're at right now. But in a perfect world and what we're trying to get to is basically just having money ready to go so that we don't have to potentially cancel a contract that looks like a really good deal because we can't find the money. So, like I said, we have a lot of deals sitting on the sidelines right now that we just can't pull the trigger on because we just don't have capital lined up. And like I said, I think that's our biggest hamstring as it sits right now. So in a perfect world, I would love to have capital just sitting on the sidelines ready to deploy at any minute.
Okay, so when you do present these deals to a possible investor, how do you go about doing that?
So one of my partners on the development side, he is very analytical, spreadsheet driven, PowerPoint presentation. So he will typically get our pitch deck together and go over the full pro forma of the deal itself. And then myself and him, we will just reach out to investors that we have connections with, see if they have any availability to either meet in person, review the deal in our pitch deck with us, or jump on a Zoom call like we are right now and have that ready to go for them. So I am very thankful and grateful for my partner who is amazing at stuff like that, because that is not me. I hate spreadsheets. I hate PowerPoints. So yeah, that's really kind of where we're at for pitching deals right now. It's just getting a nice pitch deck together.
The forward flow. So you're pitching more deal based right now, and then hopefully in the future you can pivot to like business based lending, where it's like, this is what we've done, this is what we use our money for. So for people to invest significant amounts of capital with you, they need to know, like, and trust you. What are you doing for those sorts of things?
Again, a lot of mine is just that person to person interaction. And a lot of it is these, it's conversation after conversation and just really getting to know what their goals are, and what they're trying to do, whether that's be a passive investor, and align out what our goals are as well and what we want to do as a company. So, obviously we're still a little bit at the ground level on the development side, but that is scaling quickly. Just showing them our vision and just passionately just presenting that to them and letting them know that they're in good hands, because if we don't have the expertise to do it, we're either not going to do the deal or we're going to bring in a partner who has the expertise to do so. So, it's not a play games with other folks' money and myself and Daniel and my other partner on the flipping side. The last thing we're going to do is not return our investors' money along with their return, even if that means us, taking the hit.
Yeah, definitely. So if people want to find out more and connect with you, what should they do?
Really, I would say probably I'm the most active on Instagram. My Instagram handle is down here at the bottom of the screen. So it's at @bkakwitch_REI. So that's typically the best way to connect with me.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you stopping by.
Absolutely. Thanks for the time, Bryce. And I really appreciate you reaching out.
No problem. Until next time, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.